Hey everyone, and welcome. So, we live in this world that's just full of digital promises, right? But how do we actually know if a product is secure? I mean, anybody can say their tech is safe, but how can we really, truly trust that claim? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the official stamp of approval for digital security.
Okay, let's just jump right into it. We have all seen that phrase military-grade encryption. It sounds super impressive, doesn't it? But, think about it like this. What good is the strongest, most unpickable lock in the world if you stick it on a flimsy cardboard box, right? An attacker isn't going to bother with the lock. They're just going to slice right through the box. And that simple idea is really the key to understanding everything we're about to talk about.
So, in the world of digital security, that lock is the encryption algorithm, something like AES 256. But the box, or even better, the entire safe, that's what we call the cryptographic module. It is the whole package, the hardware, the software, the firmware, all of it working together to protect the most important thing, the keys. Because let's be honest, if your keys get stolen, that fancy encryption lock is totally worthless.
So how do we actually check that the whole digital safe is secure, and not just the lock? Well, that's exactly where a standard called FIPS 140 comes in. Let's break down what this thing is and why it's become the absolute gold standard for proving a product's security.
Okay, so FIPS, it stands for Federal Information Processing Standard, and it's developed by NIST, which is the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology. The key thing to get here is that this isn't some seal of approval made up by a private company. Nope. This is a super rigorous benchmark set by one of the top science and tech agencies on the planet.
So why should you even care about this? Well, for one, a FIPS certificate gives you assurance. It's proof that a product's security has been poked, prodded, and audited by independent experts. It's also a ticket to the game. It gives you market access. If you want to sell your tech to the US or Canadian governments, you absolutely must have it. And because of that intense government-level rigor, it's pretty much become the default gold standard for any industry that takes security seriously, like finance and healthcare. Now, here's the thing, not all digital safes are built the same. FIPS actually defines 4 different levels of security, and each level builds on the one before it. You can think of it like a spectrum, right? It goes from a basic lockbox all the way up to a high-tech vault that you'd see in a spy movie. Let's just run through this real quick. So, level 1 is your baseline. Think of a software library running on your computer. It just has to use the right math, the right algorithms. At level 2, we start adding physical security, like tamper-evident seals, so you can actually see if someone's tried to mess with the device. Now, level 3 is where things get really serious. It demands tamper resistance. We'll get to what that means in a sec. And then you have level 4, the top of the mountain, with active defenses that can actually fight back against attacks. This is the stuff usually reserved for super high-security government gear. And this is what's so cool about that jump to level 3. See, tamper resistance isn't just about making a tough case. It means that if someone tries to physically crack the device open, it has to react. And that reaction is usually something called zeroizing. It instantly erases all the secret keys it's protecting. Poof, gone. It leaves the attacker holding nothing but a useless brick. It's basically a digital self-destruct sequence. How cool is that? All right, so for more than 20 years, the go-to standard was FIPS 142, and it was a huge success. But, technology marches on, and so do the bad guys. The standard had to evolve, and that led to one of the biggest shifts in the world of security validation in a long, long time. And here it is, the single biggest change. FIPS 140-2, which came out way back in 2001, was really a US-focused workhorse. Its successor, FIPS 140-3, is a totally different beast because it's designed to line up perfectly with international ISO standards. So the big takeaway here is this. The American gold standard has now officially gone global. And this isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a hard deadline. Since the end of 2021, any new product has to test against the new 140-3 standard. But the date you really need to circle on your calendar is September 2026. That's the day all the old FIPS 140-2 certificates get moved to the historical list, which basically means they're expired for government work. This is a massive, ticking clock for the entire tech industry. So you might be asking, why go through all this trouble? What makes FIPS 143 so much better? Well, it is so much more than just a version number change. It introduces some really critical upgrades to deal with the kinds of threats we face today.
The heart of the new standard is that it's based on this international document ISO/IEC 197090. ISO is the International Organization for Standardization. And this is a total game changer because it means that global companies don't have to go through separate, super expensive testing for the US market and then again for the rest of the world. It creates one unified global benchmark for security.
And the technical upgrades are pretty awesome too. First, FIPS 143 says you have to run an integrity check every single time a device boots up, just to make sure no one has messed with the software. It also adds new defenses against these clever, non-invasive attacks, where hackers try to guess your secret keys just by, say, watching how much power your device is using. And finally, it really beefs up the rules for authentication, making it a whole lot tougher for the wrong person to get access.
So getting this stamp of approval, it is not easy. This is no cakewalk. A company can't just fill out a form or do a quick self-check. Oh no, they have to survive this incredibly tough, expensive, and long process run by totally independent experts. It's a real gauntlet.
So here's how that gauntlet works. First, a vendor builds the product. Then they pay a lot of money to send it to an accredited third-party lab. These labs spend months, literally months, trying to break the thing, testing every single security claim. We're talking costs that can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. After all that, the lab writes up a huge report and sends it to the CMVP, the Cryptographic Module Validation Program, which is run by both the US and Canadian governments. And only if that report survives all of that intense scrutiny does the product finally earn its certificate.
Okay, so let's boil all of this down to the three big takeaways. First, FIPS means trust. It is the difference between a flashy marketing slogan and real, proven, audited security. Second, the transition is happening right now. That 2026 deadline is a really big deal. And third, FIPS is now global, which makes it more important and more powerful than it has ever been before. And all of that brings us to our final thought for today. You now know that real security is about way more than just a strong lock. It's about the strength and integrity of the entire safe. So the next time you see a product that claims to be secure, what kind of proof are you going to ask for?